Rian Johnson confirms his Star Wars trilogy is still happening. Again. Let's talk about it.
Have you seen Star Wars?
The director and the writer of The Last Jedi recently did an interview, and yet again, he just confirmed that the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy is still on. And the quote that we have from the actual interviewer says that there's no dates or timelines because he has other projects going on, but it is still happening. And this is kind of the same update we've had basically every few months, every year since 2017. I mean, in 2019, which specifically in April of 2019, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy said that she was going to sit down with Rian Johnson and David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, who were the writers of the Game of Thrones series, and plan out the future of Star Wars. Well, as we know, Dumb and Dumber basically is what people call them. Screw things up with Season 8 of the Game of Thrones. Kathleen didn't like the way they were doing their movie, they didn't like the first script, and they went their separate ways, and that was it. They basically canceled that trilogy, but they said that the Rian Johnson trilogy was still in the works, but we haven't really heard anything officially from Lucasfilm since 2019. We all expect something at the Disney Investors Day back in December of 2020, and still nothing. But Rian Johnson is still the one coming out here saying, hey, my trilogy is still happening. And first of all, I do want to say, side note, I told you so. I've been saying this for a while now, that his trilogy is going to happen. Will I always believe that? Probably not, but I know it for certain when I'm in that movie theater, whatever year that may be, and I see written and directed by Rian Johnson at the end of a Star Wars movie, then I'll know for sure it happened. But until then, yeah, there's cause for speculation, and I understand people being a little sketch on this stuff, but Disney and Lucasfilm would not allow Rian Johnson to come out here so vocally and openly always say he is doing a Star Wars trilogy if he was not doing a Star Wars trilogy. And there were some weird leaks that came out last year, maybe even the year before. They're not even leaks, they were fake, but a lot of people were like, oh, his trilogy is going to be about the Broom Boy kid at the end of The Last Jedi. I mean, who really believed that? If you believe the entire Rian Johnson trilogy is going to be based around the Broom Boy kid, I have a bridge to sell you. And if it is, oh good God, I'm going to freak out. But we don't know when this will actually come out. We really don't know when this trilogy is going to release. There's no dates, and even with the dates that we have of the Star Wars movies in the works right now, none of it lines up with a Rian Johnson trilogy, and his trilogy kind of seems to be a scheduling conflict, almost like a nuisance at this point, on when that's going to come out, because normally we do a trilogy and we have a film come out every 2 years, at least under Lucasfilm and Disney at the moment since 2012. But when we look at the future Star Wars films right now, 2023 Star Wars film is going to be directed and co-written by Patty Jenkins. It's called Rogue Squadron. We already have all that confirmed. 2025 is likely going to be the Taika Waititi film, since he's already writing the scripts for it, and he has a co-writer, and he's of course directing the film. Then 2027 seems to be the Kevin Feige movie, which already has a writer, and we know that Rian Johnson's first movie in his trilogy is going to be written and directed by him, and that came from the official announcement about this. So it's kind of curious on what are the plans with Rian Johnson's trilogy, because if it comes out in this decade, cool, I'm up for that. But if it comes out in this decade, the 2020s, it's not going to be until the later half of this decade, and I'm talking like 2028 at the earliest, it seems. Rian is currently working on Knives Out 2, and he even said that he would have time after Knives Out 2 to make a whole nother movie. So he's not going to be making these Star Wars films for quite some time. We really don't know what's going to happen over there at Lucasfilm with the executives, or Disney and their executives. Walt Disney Studios may have a complete shift in power, and maybe someone doesn't want Rian Johnson to work on it. Or maybe they're just like, hey dude, this guy's old news and we got to keep moving on. If he's not going to make the trilogy, then who cares? Let's just keep going. It's really weird to think that we might get another Star Wars trilogy that is completely separate from the Skywalker saga and is all under the direction of Rian Johnson. Now, it may be, like I've said before many times on this specific subject, maybe he writes and directs the first one, and then the next two are written by other people, or he just directs them, or he just writes them and directed by other people. A lot of options for his trilogy. And what's crazy is probably Rian Johnson doesn't even know the story of his own trilogy. He's probably been thinking of it for the past, 3 or 4 years at this point. He never pitched a story to Lucasfilm when asking for a trilogy. He just basically said, hey, this has been fun, why not do a whole new trilogy? with new characters and a new timeline. And, you know, I'm fine with it being separate from the Skywalker saga because I feel like he would do better without, you know, characters that we're used to and all that. But I'm telling you right now, he better have all 3 scripts for every single movie in his trilogy ready to go. I mean, I'm going to be so annoyed if they're in the concept art stage and he hasn't even started or finished the 2nd script or the 3rd script. He has had, probably by the time his trilogy comes out or even starts, almost 10 years to work on this thing. We're coming up on 5 years. He should have had a story locked down by this point. He needs to begin writing on the scripts. He needs to work on all of that ahead of time, because it's going to be really annoying to think that this man has a trilogy in the works. Patty Jenkins' scripts is almost done. Taika Waititi started on his script last year, and his film doesn't even come out until 2025. So all these people are working ahead of time and kind of planning things out in the future. I pray to God Rian does the same thing. I pray to God his trilogy starts and he's like, all 3 scripts are written. We're just going to revise them from now and then, you know, maybe work on a few things, a few adjustments. I want that, because that means everything's planned out in advance. We don't have a Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi situation. Everything's planned from the start, and I think that would really help Rian. And also, he said that, you know, he doesn't like using his first draft, which it seems like he did with The Last Jedi. He doesn't like doing a lot of stuff like that, and he's not the greatest writer, so give this man time to write it. I'm fine with that, but good God, if he does not have all 3, by the time he comes back to Lucasfilm and goes, Kathy, I'm ready, kick him out. I'm sorry. I can't do it, Rian. I can't. You gotta have all 3 done. That is my only condition, that is my only demand, and I am excited to see what the fandom thinks about this news and when it will actually happen, because we've heard for a long time now the Rian Johnson trilogy is canceled, it's not happening, it's canceled, and every single time that comes out, official news like this comes from him and he goes, nah, it's still happening. So maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. What will it be about? We don't know. When will it be? We have no idea. When will it come out? And who knows? Has the story even been settled on by Rian Johnson himself? All these questions and more next time on Star Wars Drama. But for real, tell me your thoughts below. What do you guys think about Rian Johnson's trilogy? Still happening. He says it's happening, so we gotta believe him. When do you think it will come out? Do you think he's even worked on the story? Do you think he's worked on the scripts? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like or a comment, because it does help out the channel. If you enjoy Star Wars Only, subscribe to the channel and become an Only fan. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.